missing. It is considered as what? Method. Okay, compilation time it got error. Okay, done. Then we cannot create a constructor. It is considered as what? Tell me, can I use single line, multi-line document comment inside declaration tag? Inside JSP page, what tag we have to use? JSP comment or HTML comment. But inside declaration tag, I am placing single line comment. Allowed? Allowed. Then why? Because single line comment is allowed inside a Java program. So allowed inside a declaration tag. Then next, I wanted to write lifecycle methods. JSP init and JSP destroy. Now tell me, is it JSP init JSP destroyer underscore JSP init underscore JSP destroyer? No, JSP init. Okay, let me write underscore JSP init underscore JSP destroy. Right click. Okay, now go to the browser. Already it is running on the browser. Refresh. Okay, an error occurred at line number duplicate method underscore JSP init. Underscore JSP init by default inside PAC class is added by JSP container. You cannot use underscore JSP init method. It will throwing error. So what is the method I have to use? JSP init and JSP destroy. JSP lifecycle methods are not underscore JSP init, underscore JSP destroy. It is JSP init, JSP destroy. Okay, these are the lifecycle methods I am overriding. Na? Can I write @ override? Come on, can I write @ override? Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Why? Are you writing JSP file? It's not the direct subclass of any class, right? Now let's see now. Let's see now. Now I'm sending the request. What happened? Check server console. Okay, go to server console. Then here in server console, JSP init executed, underscore JSP service executed. But in the JSP file, we are getting compile time error. Why? In the JSP PIC class, no error, no translation error, no compile time error, no runtime error. Because these are the lifecycle methods available in the super class, we are overriding. But in JSP file, we are getting compile time error because @ override is searching for super class. Na? In the current file, super class is there or not there? Not there. That's why we are getting error line. But if you directly execute by ignoring this error, if you directly execute, will you get any compile time error? No. Any runtime error? No. JSP, I mean, this error is showing by JSP na or JSP, I mean, this Eclipse. Eclipse is showing the error. Can I ignore this error? Yes. Can I write @ override? Yes. Generally, in JSP page, we don't use @ override. Okay. It is allowed, no error at a runtime. No error at runtime. Okay, currently there is no super class, but PAC class when generated, we are getting no error. But currently I am not taking it. Okay, done. Next, can I write underscore JSP service method? Can I override myself? No, you cannot. If you try to override, it leads to compile time error, duplicate, because JSP container generate underscore JSP service method in the PAC class. Is it clear? Right. And then now finally, what are the life cycle methods we have to use? Underscore JSP init, JSP init. JSP init is the life cycle method. JSP destroy is the life cycle method. Underscore JSP service is the life cycle method. If you want to add any code in the underscore JSP service method, what I have to use? Scriptlet tag. If you want any code inside service method, in out.println, I have to use what? Expression tag. Now, if I run this program, what is the output flow of execution? Step number 1, page is loaded. After loading, verify. After verifying, translated. PAC Java file is generated. And then after, compiled, .class file created, configured. Configure means it is given to the servlet container asking to execute. Then servlet container loaded, instantiate. When JSP PIC class is loaded, what is the message coming on the console? PIC is loaded, static variable executed, static block executed. Then next, instantiated, instantiation time, PIC is instantiated, non-static variable executed, non-static block is executed. Do you have any constructor you written by yourself? No. Implicitly it is generated by JSP container compiler, but we cannot use. Then next, Next, initialization started. Init method, JSP init method is executed. PIC service is initialized. Okay. Then next, service method executed. Destroy method executed? No. Service method executed. Scriptlet code underscore JSP service is executed. Request is processed. Then expression tag executed. Check server console. If you see server console, you will see all the messages. Now I want to take browser, server console side by side, and I'm sending. Okay. Now this is the page. Error exception coming. Now I'm sending the request. Observe. We got the message. First, what happened? JSP destroy. Already JSP page existed, na? JSP page destroyed because I did some changes in the JSP page. When JSP page is modified, JSP file is modified, send the new request, existing object is destroyed. Again, all the 9 phases are executed. PIC is loaded, static variable, static block. PIC is instantiated, non-static variable, non-static block. JSP init is executed. PIC object is initialized, underscore JSP service is executed, request is processed. Okay, all 9 phases understood? All 9 phases I have shown. Translation errors I have shown, compilation error I have shown, execution errors I have shown, and then finally flow of execution. All 9 phases plus lifecycle methods also executed. Yesterday I asked a question. Inside this JSP page, our servlet lifecycle methods, can I override or not? What is that? Public void init of servlet config open bracket system.out. Here system.out.println and shortcut not coming. You have to type fully. System.out.println double quotes. Here I want to write init of config is executed. Okay, what I told you yesterday, by default servlet container execute PIC class is executed by servlet container. Servlet container job is what? Calling init of config. Then calling service of servlet request comma servlet response. So I want to override those methods and see what happened. Service of servlet request comma servlet response. And here I am writing which response it is? Public service of request comma response is executed. And next, destroy. Which destroy method? Servlet lifecycle destroy method. Destroy, no parameters. Destroy is executed. By overriding servlet lifecycle method, I want to execute it. Let's see what happens. I got errors. What the error? Cannot override the final method from HTTP JSP base. Who is the superclass of your page implementation class? HTTP JSP base. In HTTP JSP base, look at that. Init method was declared as final. Can you override in the subclass? No. So they are restricting you not to override init method by yourself. Why? Because if you override this init method, entire JSP framework will fail. All null pointer exceptions you will get. I'll tell you the reason. Okay. Now, servlet, your HTTP JSP base, this class is the subclass of the interface HTTP JSP page. Okay. Let me show you the diagram. Last class, I have shown you in the API documentation. And tell me, this is our PIC class. What is that? Hello underscore JSP class is the subclass of whom? HTTP JSP base. HTTP JSP base. It is a superclass. Okay. And It is the implementation class of HTTP JSP page interface or class. I didn't remember. We will see that. Okay, and it is the subclass of it is a subclass of JSP page. JSP page. It is interface, and it is the subinterface of which interface? Servlet. Servlet contain three methods. Init, servlet, config, three methods are there. Those three methods are inherited to JSP page. And now this JSP page is providing its own lifecycle methods. What are the lifecycle methods? JSP init, underscore JSP service, and JSP destroy. Okay, and now these all six methods are coming to six methods plus servlet contain extra methods. Everything is coming into HTTP JSP page. From there they are coming to HTTP JSP base. Now this class is servlet container class or Tomcat class? Tomcat. These are the API. These are the servlet JSP API interfaces. This is a servlet API, and this is what? JSP API, extension of servlet. JSP is the extension of servlet, and JSP HTTP JSP page is extended by HTTP JSP base class. This is a base, and this is what? Page. Both are different. Now in HTTP JSP base, for stopping us to override, init method of servlet config, service of servlet request comma servlet response, and the next destroy, all three methods are declared as what? Final. Okay, and by overriding all these as a final, by overriding all these as final, implicitly they are calling which init method? JSP init method. Destroy method is calling what? JSP destroy method. Understand? Can you call one method inside another method or not? Tell me. These are the lifecycle methods of servlet. The servlet lifecycle methods background calling what? JSP lifecycle methods. Okay. Now I got a doubt. Right. Now I am going to override not the service method because all three are getting compile time error. I am commenting one more time. Okay, I am commenting them. Okay, not allowed because overriding not possible. I am trying to override our service method. Protected service method. Protected service of HTTP servlet request comma HTTP servlet response HREQ HRESP. Is it allowed to override or not? What is your guess? Allowed or not allowed? Maybe not allowed. It is also declared as what? Final. Okay, because they want to guarantee what? Underscore JSP service method to override. Let's see now what happened. Right click. Sorry, not required. Just directly send the response request. Look at that. I got error. Cannot override the final method from HTTP JSP base. It is also overridden. Okay. So this is a public and they have overrun as a public and declare as what? Final. Save it. Now send request. Now we got only one error. What is that? Cannot override final method from HTTP JSP page. It is also not allowed to override. Then move it up. And next, we have one more method. Do you remember what is that method? Do excellent here. Getter methods. Do get, do post. Let's see. Do get method is allowed or not. I am directly sending request means directly get or request only prepared background. Na? Let's see now. Do get method accepted or not. Hey, check server console. Go and check the server console. What method is executing? Underscore JSP service. Why do get is not executed? Because inside JSP page, okay. Now inside HTTP JSP base, what is the method is available? Service. This service method implicitly calling what? Service of HTTP servlet request comma HTTP servlet response. This HTTP servlet request comma response implicitly calling which service method? Underscore JSP service method, not do get, do post. HTTP servlet request comma servlet response service method in HTTP servlet class calling which method? Do get, do post. But when HTTP JSP base class overriding service method logic executed from HTTP servlet class or HTTP JSP base class? HTTP JSP base class. Inside HTTP JSP base class, what logic is calling? Do get, do post or underscore JSP service? underscore JSP service. If you override do get and override do post method, there is no problem and they are not executed. Look at there, do get and do post. So these are all overriding method calling related points. If you remember our overriding, if you remember, I told you many times, I remind you, sometimes I scolded without overriding concept, calling subclass method in superclass method subclass. Okay, I have 4 methods in superclass, one method calling from another method, this method calling from subclass user class. Now the internal method called M1 executed from subclass or superclass. 4-5 cases I gave you in the overriding chapter, right? Same points are applicable, right, Rick? Run as not required, go there. Now check server console. Again, what is executed? Underscore service method only. Do get, do post methods are not executed because inside HTTP JSP base class, service method of servlet HTTP servlet request servlet response method is overridden for calling underscore JSP service, not do get, do post methods. So they have not overridden, left them in HTTP servlet as normal, and then we can override. So final conclusion is what? In a JSP file, we can override only JSP lifecycle methods, JSP init, JSP destroy, and what is that? Scriptlet for overriding underscore JSP service method. Final conclusion. Okay, let me make points and then we'll go for next topic. Tell me now. What are the points we discussed last class? JSP lifecycle method. Like servlet, JSP also has its own lifecycle methods. Try to recollect what you learned. JSP is also has 3 lifecycle methods. What are they? Lifecycle. One word or 2 words? Let me check in Google how people are using life cycle of butterfly. No, it's a 2 words only. It has also 3 life cycle methods: JSP init, underscore JSP service, and JSP destroy. For JSP init and JSP destroy, we should not add underscore. If I add underscore, we will get compile time error. Why? Because those 2 methods are considered as what? Duplicate method. In JSP page implementation class, those 2 methods are already available. Underscore JSP destroy. These 2 are leads to compile time errors. No need of any SOPL, let me deal. Even IO exception all also I am removing. Just these 3 methods leads to compile time error, duplicate methods. Now let's quickly recollect all points. After JSP page implementation class instantiated with this PIC object, above lifecycle methods are called. For initializing this JSP file, PIC class object, JSP init method is called. For processing request, underscore JSP service method is called. Just before destroying this JSP file PIC object, JSP destroy method is called. Just now we have experienced on this point. Inside JSP file, we can override JSP init and JSP destroy methods. We cannot override underscore JSP service method. It leads to compilation error because JSP container by default overrides underscore JSP service method in PIC. In a JSP file, we must use a declaration tag for overriding JSP init and JSP destroy methods. For replacing for placing logic in underscore JSP service. What logic? For placing request processing logic or Java code in underscore JSP service method, we must use scriptlet tag. We must not override underscore JSP service method. For placing out.print statements, we must use expression tag. Avoid placing out.print method directly. If you want to place out.println methods, use scriptlet tag. The order of execution of JSP file entire logic is this. Before that, let us also add here only 11th point. What is the 11th point? By default, okay. Remember, గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, యాద్ రఖో. Now what? Tell me. What? Remember. PIC is executed by PIC is loaded, instantiated, initialized, and executed and destroyed by whom? Servlet container. Servlet container. Okay, na? Then servlet container will never call what? JSP lifecycle methods directly. The servlet container, can I write SE shortcut? The servlet container calls only servlet lifecycle methods. What are they? Init of config. Next, service of servlet request, comma, servlet response, and destroy. In the 12th point, in the web server provided PIC superclass above servlet lifecycle three methods are overridden to call what method? JSP lifecycle methods. Okay, na? When servlet container calling lifecycle methods, okay, when servlet container executing PIC class, how JSP lifecycle methods are executed? Is the servlet container changed? No. Servlet container is not changed. What happened? Servlet container following the same flow, it calls init, service, and destroy methods only. Inside these three methods, JSP lifecycle methods are called. Where? Inside init of servlet config, what method is called? JSP init method. Next, inside service of servlet request, comma, servlet response, service of HTTP servlet request, comma, HTTP servlet response is called. Inside service of HTTP servlet request, comma, HTTP servlet response underscore JSP service method is called. Next, inside destroy what happened? What method is called? JSP underscore JSP or JSP? JSP destroy is called. Then now my question, last 13th question. Can we override servlet lifecycle methods in the JSP file? No, we cannot override servlet lifecycle methods. It leads to compile time error. because in the server, web server provided PIC superclass, these three life cycle canary LCM life cycle methods are overridden by declaring them as final. Why? For forcing us to override only JSP life cycle methods. Okay, next, last point. Hence, we must override only JSP. Hence, inside JSP file, inside declaration tag, we must override only JSP init, comma, JSP, JSP, okay, destroy methods. For overriding underscore JSP service method, we must use what a scriptlet tag. Can we override? Just a question. Can we override underscore JSP init and underscore JSP destroy? What is the answer? No. Sir. No. It leads to compile time error. What is the compile time error? Duplicate methods. And last, final execution flow. The order of execution of JSP file, entire logic. Okay, that's all. Execution phases and then destroying phase, everything. So this is the story about the entire JSP page and its a execution flow program. So if you develop, you will get benefited, buddy, so that your mind will be improved. If you observe carefully, in this JSP page, you do not have only JSP knowledge. You have JS, its previous servlet, and previous, once upon a long ago, Core Java. Core Java also there, na? Loading, instantiating, initializing, execution, all the nonsense is there. So yesterday I have uploaded these notes. I am deleting and re-uploading again. Both files. చదువుకోండి, knowledge పెంచుకోండి. Understand? पढ़ो, knowledge improve करो. Knowledge बढ़ो. Then पढ़ो बढ़ो. Okay. Shall we stop our batch? I think people are losing interest. JSP outdated, what required? As I said, JSP not required. So once JSP started, people are feeling, sir, leave us, sir, we will go. In childhood, when you or your brother or sister, somebody suffering from fever, your mother will take to the hospital. Doctor is decided to give injection. And mother will say, Aipinda. Okay, khatam hai, completed, huh? All right, like that, just 4 days. 4 days, wait, it will be complete. Now the most important topic now, page implementation, servlet JSP page implicit objects. Very, very important. JSP page implicit objects. Already you know, right? Servlet has implicit objects. What the meaning of implicit objects? Come on. What the meaning of implicit objects? The objects which are created implicitly by container are called what? Implicit objects. In core Java, do you have any implicit objects? In core Java, do you have any implicit objects? Yes, sir. Is JVM internally created any objects for your class? But there is a wrong explanation in market. People are saying in core Java we have two implicit objects. Number one, this. Number two, super. What do you say? This and super are implicit objects, implicit referenced variable to current object. They are implicit referenced variables. They are not objects. Understood? They are the variables, not objects. If somebody say in core Java we have two implicit objects, what are they? Then what do you say? First, smile. What is the meaning of smile? Array, wrong answer. Yeah, 5 years of experience you have in company, you don't have this minimum point also. Array. Smile. Yeah, actually they are not implicit objects. They are implicit referenced variables, this and super, which are pointing to current object of non-static method and constructor. That object we have to create in the main method, and using that object we call constructor. Then constructor contain parameter this and super pointing to current class memory and super class memory available in current object. Without we creating object, internally no object created by JVM. In core Java, internally one object is also not created. But in a servlet, internally objects are created. What are the objects created, servlet? When you send a request, okay, when you deploy the project, can you recollect? What are the objects created internally? Listener objects, can I say implicit objects? No, listener objects are not implicit objects. If you create extending from one listener interface, then object is created. Then we should not call it as implicit object. We should not call it as implicit object, okay? Then without I am writing subclass, without I am writing implicit class, extending from any interface, if automatically implicit classes are created by implementation classes are created by container, and internal objects are created by the same what do you call container, then we call it as what? Implicit objects. Again repeating, if implementation class developed by container, its object also created by container, then only we call it as what? Implicit object. If I am writing implementation class for any interface and I am supplying my implementation class to the container, then we should not call it as implicit object. Understood? Now consider, start from the first point. Web application is loaded. What the first object created? Listeners. But listeners are I am supplying implementation, so should not consider as implicit object. Then next to listeners, what object is created? Servlet context, implicit object. Next servlet config, implicit object. Next servlet request, implicit object. Servlet response, implicit object. Whenever response following by print writer, implicit object. Session. When I call get session method, session object is created. Yes or no? So how many implicit objects are created in servlet container? 6 objects. For servlet, 6 objects. But what about servlet classes, sir? Yeah, servlet class you consider implicit object or not, that's up to you. Okay, na? But I don't want to consider, because servlet is also I created subclass, na? I am creating subclass and then its object is created. So I don't want to consider. If you want to consider servlet. No problem, it's not a crime. So totally how many objects? 7. What are the 7? Repeat. Servlet context, servlet config, servlet request, servlet response, print writer, session, servlet, ante, servlet. Current servlet, 7 objects. Okay. Now, if you consider JSP, same 7 objects there, no? No. JSP also context is there, na? JSP also config is there. JSP also request, response, writer. Okay, print writer. Next session. Next JSP current page implementation class object. JSP object, page object. What do you call JSP? Page or page object. Okay. All these seven objects wrapping in a single object called page context. What object? Page context. Tell me, inside servlet, okay, inside JSP, we are getting exceptions. Na? For handling exceptions, we have to write throws keyword or try catch. Na? Array, tell me. Throws keyword, if you write throws keyword, if you want to write throws keyword, is it possible or not possible? In JSP page, can I write throws keyword? No, because we are not writing declarations. Next, is it okay writing try catch inside the JSP page? Who is writing scriptlet? JSP page author. JSP page author is strong in Java na weak in Java na? Stronger. Hey, weak ra HTML author. JSP pages are developing by HTML designers. HTML is more dominating. JSP page is HTML plus Java. More HTML, less Java. Okay. Servlet, more Java, less HTML. That is what the order. Then if you ask regular Java people, try catch, try crying like anything, exceptionally to understand crying. If I ask HTML author, hey, write down HTML, try catch, you throws, then he will cry like anything. So what is the right way of handling exception? There is a one mechanism handling exception. Then exception object. What is the object? Exception. So totally, how many implicit objects available in JSP? 9. Servlet 7. JSP 9. Now tell me, what are the 9? Number 1, servlet context, servlet config, servlet request, servlet response, print writer, session, JSP page, exception, and then page context. Page context is nothing but it is a wrapper of all these 8 objects. All these 8 objects I want to take from one JSP to another JSP. Then what is using page context? Page context doesn't contain any data. It is just only for what? Carrying the data. Then who is the original objects? 8. Array, these 8 names what I told you, these 8 names are what? Object type names, interface name, servlet context, servlet config, servlet request, HTTP servlet request. Servlet request or HTTP servlet request, superclass or subclass, no problem. Servlet request, servlet response, print writer or JSP writer. There is a compulsory, if advanced Java is considered compulsory asking question. Out is what type of object in JSP? In servlet it is print writer. In JSP it is JSP writer, not print writer. JSP writer is subclass of print writer. Okay, fine. Then next session and then page, and then okay, session, exception, page context. So totally how many objects? 9 objects. Sorry. Right click, new file. JSP implicit objects. .txt. Last few days, don't get boring. Okay, JSP implicit objects. What are the JSP implicit objects? How many are there? 9. 9. What is this? First one, servlet context. Second, servlet config. Third, HTTP servlet request. HTTP servlet response. JSP writer. Session. HTTP session. Next. throwable. What? Which exception come? How do I know? Who is the superclass of all exception? Throwable. And the next, what? Page, object. What? Object. Next, page, context. Hey, carefully look at. I have a question. Are you telling objects? Are you telling specification? API names you are telling. If you say these names to the interviewer, he will ask, Babu, what are you talking, Nana? I am asking objects, but you are telling API names, type names. And their type names. Servlet context, type name. Servlet config, type name. HTTP servlet request, type name. HTTP servlet response, type name. JSP writer, type name. HTTP session, type name. Throwable, type name. Object, type name. Page context, type name. Okay, these 9 types object is created by, okay, all these 9 types object is created by JSP container, and that object access is provided to us by using referenced variables. Na? Without reference variable can access object? No. The implicit object means implicit object referenced variable names you have to tell. Implicit object referenced variable name you have to tell. The referenced variable name of servlet context is application. What is the name? Application. Next, servlet config. Okay, servlet context, HTTP servlet request. Servlet response. Next, JSP writer, out. Next, HTTP session. Throwable, not throwable, exception. Next, object, page. Next, page context. Okay, page context. If interviewer ask a question, what are the implicit objects of JSP? What you should tell? Type names are object names are. Object names, referenced variable name you have to tell, should not tell the type name. If he explicitly ask you type name, then only you have to respond type name. Tell me, how many implicit objects are there? 9. What are the 9? Application, config, request, response, out. Session, page, session, exception, page context. Sir, where I can find all these names, sir? Okay. Everywhere? Yeah, tell me. Where I can find these names, sir? How can I find it's a type and a name? Where implicit objects I can find? Page implementation class. Camera is on using phone. Who is that? Akanksha? Ma Akanksha. Can you hear me, Akanksha? Are you intentionally on camera na unknowingly on? Camera is on. Pujasri. Pujasri, where are you, Matali? Elbaina. Enter pitch mahal. Left A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, P. Puja Sri, Puja Bihar. Left yeah. You recording, Ray. Namaskaram, Rani. ఎన్ని నా గురించి చెప్పకూడదురా బాబు మీరు పిచ్చి మొహాలారా దొరికారా మీకు? Okay. And tell me, JSP, implicit objects and their type names. Awesome batch బాబు. ఇలాంటి బంపర్ ఆఫర్ నాకే ఇస్తే ఎందుకని తెలియదు. Now finally, where I can find these names in the page implementation class. Tell me, just I want write dummy JSP page here. How can I create JSP? Source, main, web app, right click, new JSP file. What do you write now? Can I write implicit? I can test test.js. Just a test time, right? Finish. Inside expression tag, I want to just print a message. Expression tag equal to double quotes, open PIC class and check what implicit object names. Open PIC class and check implicit object names and their types. Implicit objects names and their types. Now chalo, send the request, right click, run as, run on server. Next, isko hata do, finish. Restart server. JSP destroy executed because project is removed from the server. Open PIC class and check implicit objects names and their types. Go. Where I can find implicit PIC class here. Remember the path? Where? There? Where? There. Open workspace JSP workspace. Okay, JSP dot metadata plugins. At least by seeing talk. org.eclipse.wst.server.core temp 0 work Catalina localhost implicit objects org Apache JSP test.java. Where are the implicit objects are available? Where implicit objects are available? Implicit objects are available at a class level? No. Inside JSP init method? No. Inside JSP service method? No. Inside JSP destroy method? No. Inside underscore JSP service method? Yes. Look at that. Inside underscore JSP service method. Look at that. HTTP servlet request object. What the parameter name? Request. Then what is the parameter name? Response. Okay, request response. So go down. Go down. Dekho. Page context. HTTP session. Servlet context. Application. Servlet config. JSP writer out. Page. These two are Tumri fellows. Get out. Exception under 1 minute. Now let me order it. First, what is coming? Application, and the next config, the next request response, the next JSP writer out, the next no page. Okay, session. Somewhere exception is there. Find out. Let me search. Hey. Exception not created. Exception is created only in one case. Okay, by default exception is not created. Throwable. This is catch block throwable. Implicit object throwable not there. ఇది ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది? test.java. Okay. Again, fine. Directly go into catch. So throwable object will come only if I write direct to tag with is error page equal to true. Is error page equal to true, then only exception object will come. By default exception object is not there. So that we discuss in okay, today if possible, today, otherwise tomorrow. Okay, done. So tell me, what are the implicit object? Okay, how many objects are there totally? 9. What the first object? Application, config, after that request, response, out, session, exception, page context. Exception object is always available in the page? No. We will get exception object only in one case. I will tell you that. Now, these are the implicit objects available. Next, where is it? Hurry, Eclipse, come on here. And tell me, are these implicit objects available everywhere in all three places? Class level, init method, destroy method, service method. In all three lifecycle methods, are these objects available? No. The above 9 implicit objects are available only in where? Underscore JSP service method. It means in JSP file, we can access above 9 objects names only inside. Can you guess? Come on. Make mind lo vachela point. I said underscore JSP, underscore service. Underscore JSP service means what? I am telling JSP file. It means inside JSP file, we can access above 9 objects names only inside. Where and where? Excellent. Scriptlet tag and expression tag. Only inside scriptlet tag and expression tag. If we try to access above 9 implicit objects, either in declaration tag, either in where? Either in declaration tag, JSP init, or in JSP destroy, or in any other user defined method, we will get compile time error. What? Cannot find symbol. The above 9 implicit objects names are available only in underscore JSP service method as local variables. It means inside JSP file. Okay, not it means, hence inside JSP file, we can access above 9 objects names only inside scriptlet and expression tag. If we access above 9 implicit objects in declaration tag, either in JSP init or in JSP destroy or in any other user defined method, we'll get compile time error, cannot find symbol. Now, Let us try. Here I am trying to create declaration tag. Percentage angular bracket public void JSP init of tell me. Here I am trying to system.out.println. It's not working here. System.out.println. Just I am trying to write application. Okay, application. Now I got error. Can I consider this error as an error? I should try with container. JSP container, I mean Eclipse is throwing error. This error we cannot confirm because is it fully developed program or partial developed? PIC class is the fully developed. Until then we cannot confirm error is there or not. Right click, run as, run on JS, run server, finish. Already there browser. Now look at there, we got error. Application cannot be resolved to a variable. Okay. Now application is not available in init method, not available at class level. Okay. When application is not available, remaining variables also obviously not available. Okay. Now no need to verify. Next. Now application is a root super object. Next. Okay, let me take two objects. Page is a current type. Na? If you observe the page implementation class, if you observe page, look at their page is a what type? This current type. This page, this current object means what? JSP page object is stored in the page variable. Let's see, at least page is accessible. Page if not accessible, remaining also not come. Look at that. Page is also I'm getting error. JSP destroy. I'm writing page. Save it. Now str. Go to browser, refresh. Okay, again I got error. Page cannot be resolved. Application cannot be resolved. Page cannot be resolved. So implicit objects, referenced variables are available only inside underscore JSP service method. How can I access in underscore JSP service method? By using scriptlet tag. Can I write these two lines inside scriptlet tag? Yes. System.out.println application. Any error? No. Page. Any error? No. I'm writing expression tag. Okay. Expression tag. Can I write application? Directly I'm printing. Can I write page directly? Directly printing. This is displayed on server console. It is displayed on browser. Look at there. This is servlet application context facet, and this is what? Test underscore JSP. Page is pointing to this. This is what? Test underscore JSP. You can use here BR tag for sending the response to the next widget. Okay, na? On server console, you can see application context facet and JSP. So if you don't remember JSP implicit objects, working in the JSP is very difficult. Can I expect everyone got clarity? Then now question. Sir, application means what? Servlet context. Config means what? Servlet config. Sir, request to response, JSP writer session, throwable object. These objects are available only with the service. Okay. But servlet context and JSP context, these two objects is common to the entire JSP. Na? They must be available everywhere. Then how can you get application and context? Application and context object directly we cannot get, but we can retrieve them by using once upon a time long ago we discussed something. Get servlet config Gurtunda control 1. Check, this fellow is not supported. Servlet config. Now conf CFG I am writing CFG. So not to have confusion with variables, implicit variables. Servlet config. Okay. And next, how can I get the context object? Servlet context ctxt get servlet context. Okay. Any error? No. Then you write system.out.println double quotes ctxt colon plus ctxt cfg plus cf. Tell me, can I call the same two methods inside destroy method also? Yes. We cannot access them with implicit variables, but we can access with the getter methods. Save it, go to browser. Send request. Look at that. ctxt, what is coming? Application context facet. Look at the reference 573. Okay, CF, okay, ORG, this is what service method application. Service method application is also same. Ardhamainda? CF 573, 573. How many context object will be there? One. How many config objects available? One. This is a page object. Okay, in the service method, display config. Go to browser. Observe here. This is a context object 573. This is config object 3D2. Now inside a service method config application is 573 and config object is what? 3D. Either you call getter method or you call with what? Implicit variables. The same story is there. Same objects are coming. So finally, these all the points you have to remember. How you remember, by heart practice or only by heart, it's up to you. So final conclusion is what? First point, the above 9 implicit objects names are available only in underscore JSP service method as local variables. The above 9 implicit objects are created by JSP container in underscore JSP service method with the above names as local variables. Okay. Okay, first point, the above 9 implicit objects are created by JSP container. I don't say objects. Names. Names are created by JSP container as, okay, in underscore JSP service method as local variables. Second point, hence, the above 9 implicit objects names are available only in underscore service method. Third, then inside JSP file, we can access above 9 objects names, 9 implicit names only inside scriptlet and expression tag. Fourth point, if we try to access above 9 implicit objects names in declaration tag, either in JSP init method or in JSP destroy method or in any other user defined methods, will get compile time error, cannot find symbol. Fifth point, inside JSP init and JSP destroy methods, we can access what objects? We can access context and config objects by using getter methods get, servlet, context, and get servlet config. That's all. These are the 5 points about, and very, very important 6th point. By default, exception object is not created in every JSP page. Okay. The exception object is created only if this page has page directive attribute, page directive attribute is error page equal to true. Okay, is error page equal to true. Why error page equal to true? Then only exception has to catch. That's why exception object required. Otherwise, not required. So remaining all 8 objects are by default available in every JSP page, but exception object is not created in every JSP PIC class. The exception object is created only if the JSP page contain page directive tag attribute, page directive attribute is true, is a error page equal to true. Okay, in the next example, I'm going to explain that. So these are the 6 points you have to understand. Can I expect everyone got clarity on this? Okay. Next batch is if I provide hard copy material, do you like to buy? If you provide hard copy textbook, Core Java Advanced. Earlier, my Core Java textbooks hard copies used to carry by the offline students. Advanced Java also people used to carry, but because of offline online classes separated. Okay, so hard copies are stopped and learning process stopped. Okay, why? You are coming to class only, they looking at, and finally notes not writing at home, everything there in the Google Classroom. And to write this much big notes in the classroom, course is taking 4 months, 5 months, 7 months. But advance I was strictly given me 2 months only. Already students asking last week only, when you complete, right? Core Java, I don't care, but advanced Java, I should consider the time, because spending more time on advanced Java is really time waste. Already JSP 4 days we spend. It's a 4th day, not today. It's 4 days and waste us now. Okay. Now, the next very important I have to tell, next set of tags. JSP providing totally 3 sets of tags. Number 1, scripting tags. First one, scripting tag. Number 2, directive tag. Second one, directive tag. Third one is standard action tags. Standard action tags, some actions you have to do. In the classroom, you are acting as if you understand. Sir, no, that action you have to do. In JSP also we have actions. And then we have custom tags, our own tags. By default, standard action tags are provided. And then next also provided JSTL, Java Standard Tag Library, JSTL. If custom action tags, JSTL tags, both are not sufficient for you to implement some operation in JSP page, you can create your own tag. Tell me, in core Java, you can create our own class or not? Sun Microsystem given so many classes, but that predefined classes not satisfy my requirement. Can I create my own class or not? Similarly, in JSP also we can create our own tag. That is called custom tag. And next, while working with JSP page, I want to completely eliminate Java code. I don't want to use single line of Java code. Then you have to use action tags. Complete Java code, single line also I don't want it. Scriptlet, expression tag, chatta, everything I want to remove, because I want to allow the HTML page people to work on JSP page. To work HTML page people to work on JSP page, everything should be only in the terms of what? Tags. Either HTML tags or JSP tags, purely tags. Should not write single line of Java code. In that case, I have to use action tags, JSTL tags, and then custom tags. And while working with JSTL and working with custom tags, if you want to place expression tag, somewhere you want to place expression tag, in place of expression tag, I have to write expression language, EL. What I should use? Expression language, EL. So repeat once again. First, what we learn? JSP. First point, JSP. Why JSP? JSP is the alternative or replacement. Not replacement, alternate. JSP actually first started as a replacement of Servlet, but later slowly industry realized that no, JSP is not replacement of Servlet. Let us use both Servlet, JSP. Okay, so Servlet and JSP both are using Servlet for request processing, JSP for response generation page HTML. More HTML content I am writing, less Java code I am writing. That is what response generation part. So in response generation part, in place of more Java code writing, directly JSP is using. So the first point, why to understand what is JSP, why JSP. Then JSP page syntax. How JSP? JSP page, we will write directly HTML tags. In middle of HTML tags, wherever it requires some dynamic values to generate, there we use JSP tags. What is JSP? Why JSP? How JSP? JSP is start with HTML, end with HTML. In the middle of HTML tags, wherever I want to insert the Java code, what will be there? JSP tags. Then how many JSP tags are there? Three categories of JSP tags are there. Number one, scripting elements, directive elements, action tags. Okay, scripting tags, directive tags, and action tags. These are the core JSP tags. And now to support these action tags, I want more actions I want. Then JSTL. JSTL is not part of JSP. This is extra library. Tell me, Servlet is a part of our Java SE core library? No, that is the extra library. Like that, the JSP core tags are what? Standard action tags. Action tags are standard action tags. Supporting to extra action tags, if you want, you can use what? JSTL, Java Standard Tag Library. To support action tags and JSTL tags, now we have expression language. One language is called what? Expression language. JSTL is working with Java language or expression language? Expression language. Okay. Now action tags are not supported. JSTL tags are not sufficient. I want more tags. Then use what? Custom tags. So totally how many types are tags? 5. First one, scripting tags. Second one, directive tags. Third one, action tags. Fourth one, JSTL. And fifth one, custom tags. Repeat again. JSP means 5 tags and type in. Whenever somebody say JSP, I enter 5 tags. What do you want to tell me? First one, scripting tags. Not a scriptlet tags, scripting. Scriptlet means 1 tag. Scripting means 5. Scripting tags, directive tags, standard action tags, JSTL tags, custom tags, and one language. What is the language? Expression language. And the 6 points if you learn, JSP completed. Now we completed first part, basics of JSP and JSP lifecycle, because JSP is the alternative to servlet. JSP just extend to the servlet. You can say not even alternative. Without servlet, JSP will not work, because JSP is the extension to the servlet. Whatever there in servlet, everything is available in JSP, but shortcut way of writing with the tags. So JSP, JSP writing, JSP execution flow, translation phases, JSP lifecycle methods. What is JSP? Why JSP? How JSP? JSP execution phases, JSP execution phases, JSP lifecycle methods. Okay, na? And then now the tags. Okay, na? JSP tags. How many JSP tags? 5. First one, scripting elements or scripting tags, directive tags, action tags, JSTL, EL, custom tags and EL. Okay, now we completed the 6th point. What is that? Scripting elements. Whenever you are working with the scripting elements, whenever you are writing some Java code, I need to access implicit objects. Na? I need application. I mean context object, I need config object, I want a request object, I need response object. How can I get these objects? For that we have implicit. Up to now I have not worked with the request processing, means I am not taking values from the keyboard, I mean from the HTML page. Yeah, I already worked, but I told you that day in the next coming classes will work. I have written, if you remember, HTML to servlet JSP page request processing, AO.JSP. Look at there, we have written what? Request dot get parameter. Then that day I told, sir, where is request, sir? That day I have written REQ. In a servlet, our own variable name is what? REQ. In JSP, our own variable are predefined variable. What is the difference between JSP and servlet? Servlet, it's our own name can choose. But JSP, you cannot choose your own name. You have to choose implicit name. What is the implicit name? Request. And then next, what is the implicit name? Out. I think we didn't use. Okay, request object I have to request dot get parameter, request dot get parameter, request dot get parameter. Request processing logic I have to use request dot. Session also, if you want session also. Whatever the examples you develop in servlet, all examples redevelop by using JSP. In place of servlet, you add what? JSP. Then now after life cycle completed, scripting tags completed, then we have to go for what? Implicit objects completed. Now is the time we have to understand with what? Directive tag. What tag? How many directive tag? Asli, what is the meaning of directive? Directive. Come on, think. Directive. That's the word itself is self-descriptive. Directive. Giving directions. You go this, you do this, you don't do that. Hey, do that. Directions. We are giving directions to JSP container. By default, JSP container doing its job. By default, JSP container is generating page implementation class, PIC. But I want to give some directions. Hey, add this import statement. Hey, don't create session. By default, session is creating or not? Now I want to say, hey, for this JSP, don't create session. Right. Create exception object here because it is exception handling object. I want to give some directions to the JSP container for preparing PIC class. Then we have to use one directive tag called page directive. What directive? Page directive tag. Page directive tag. By using page directive tag, I am instructing JSP container implement the page, develop the page implementation class like this. By add one import statement, by adding exception object, by disabling session, by adding the URL, encoding pattern with this encoding pattern. So different instructions if you want to give to the page JSP container for implementing page implementation class, then we use which tag? Page directive tag. Page directive tag. Okay, now repeating once again, directive tags are used for instructing JSP container for generating page implementation class. How many directive tags we have? 3 directive tags are there. How many are there? 3. Number 1, page directive tag. Number 2, include directive tag. Number 2, include directive tag. Number 3, taglib directive tag. What is that? Taglib directive tag. Number 1, page directive. Number 2, number 3, taglib. Number 1, page. Number 2, include. Number 3, taglib, not tag, taglib, lib, lib. Taglib. Sir, what is taglib? Taglib libraries. I want to tell to the JSP container, in this page, I am accessing standard tag library or custom tag. Standard tag library is the explicit tag now. It is a library. It's an explicit tags. Means that's also kind of what? Custom tags. I want to use a JSTL in my JSP page, or I want to use a custom tags in my JSP page. I have to tell where the JSP tags are available, where that custom tags are available, the path I have to specify. For specifying the external tags path, we have to use what? Taglib. Can I say taglib is a import of custom tags and JSTL tags? Yes. I want to access the class from another class. We are writing in our Java program what? Import. Like that, we should, if we want to access one external tags, then we should use what? Taglib directive. Now, how many scripting attacks are available? 5. How many scripting tags available? 5. What are the 5? Number 1, HTML comment. Number 2, JSP comment, declaration tag, scriptlet tag, expression tag. These 5 tags are meant for adding Java code in the JSP page. Next tag is what? Directive tags. How many directive tags are there? 3. What are the 3 directive tags? What are? Page directive, include directive. Let's start with page directive. Notes I will type later, okay na? Because it take time. If I type notes, I'll type later and I'll upload. Just I am directly taking page directive tag example. Adhiksha, can I take JSP page name as just 01? I'm taking just 01.jsp. Allowed? Not allowed? Look, allowed. No error. Sir, how class name can be 01, sir? A identifier can be a numbers. Identifier should be, see, JSP file name is become as a page implementation class name, na? Then how underscore is added? Underscore 01 underscore JSP. It adds underscore in before. Okay, let me show you. Writing message, hi. Right click, run as, run on server. Invite week వచ్చే house లేదంతా page directive restart. Even publishing to Tomcat server localhost has encountered a problem. Why? Oh, it is unable to remove and why? Because file is open na 5ml. Okay, hi. Go to PIC. Yo, that folder is closed. Worker, Catalina, localhost, page directive, org, Apache, JSP. What is the page name? Zoom underscore 01 underscore JSP dot Java. Okay. Sorry. Now here, observe, when we create JSP page, Eclipse by default adding one tag. Can you identify what is the tag? Huh? By default, JSP, Eclipse is adding one JSP page. What is that? Array, just now I told you, you told na Gajani's, how many directive tags are there? 3. First one, you can see, right? Page. Oh, ye wala page directive tag. A thought travel, that thought should come right? Only watching like a reel. Like Instagram reel, you are watching Java code, Murray fellows. Apply some thought process. What is that? What are you talking today? Directive tag. How many directives are there? 3. What the first directive? Page directive. Oh, wala page directive. Okay. Now tell me. Page directive tag syntax is what? At the rate. Angular bracket percentage of Angular bracket percentage is fixed. How JSP container can recognize this is an expression tag? Equal to. How it will identify it is a declaration tag? Explanatory mark. How it can identify it is a scriptlet? No special tag, no special character, no special character. Next, how it is identified is a JSP comment? Hyphen. One side hyphen or two sides, sir? Two tags should have hyphen. 2 times should be there. How it identifies a directive tag? At the rate. Following by how many directives are there? 3. What is the first directive? Page. How can I say include? Include. How can I say tag lib? Tag lib. Tell me. If it is a page if it is a scriptlet or it is a declaration or it is an expression, they are meant for writing Java code. It is meant for writing Java code. But page directive tag is meant for writing Java code instructing JSP container. So because it is instructing JSP container, generally page directive tag we will write at what? Beginning of the page. It's like an import statement. You can write anywhere, no objection to the JSP content. It can search, oh, your page directive, come there, right? But it generally will write at beginning. Next, HTML tags, remember? HTML tags is the instruction to browser. How can I tell to browser? Browser, it is a input text box of type text of type number by using tag input. Tag name is what? Input. And how are you communicating to the browser? By using attributes. Excellent. How can I tell to the browser, you do this, you don't do that, you accept it, you don't accept it? How can I say? By using attribute names and its values. Simple, I can say attribute. Then tell me, page directive tag is also meant for providing instruction to the JSP container. So page directive tag doesn't have the Java logic. It have what? Attributes. How many attributes? Bold and attributes are there. Okay, let us try to find out. JSP Eclipse will give you all the attributes list or not. Okay, control space. Look at there. Auto flush, buffer, deferred syntax allowed as literal, error page, extends, import, info, is EL ignored, is error page, is thread safe, session, trim directive white spaces. Okay, totally how many attributes are there? Number 1. Okay, just I am for the time being I am removing. Okay, let it be there. Let's not disturb it. How many page directive tags I can create in a single Java file? You can create multiple, no problem. At the rate, following by what, right? Page. Okay, at the rate, and then I'm writing. Look at there, how many tags are showing? 3. Include page taglet. Eclipse is giving all the help to you. Okay, at the rate. When I write at the rate, if I don't write at the rate, what is showing? Application, config, out, page, context, request, response, session. Wow. It is showing implicit objects. Why? Because they are the local variables of service method. Inside service method, what are available to access, those are showing. Now, if I write explanatory mark, what it is showing? Clone method, destroy method, do delete, do get, do head, do post, do patch. All these are methods inheriting from superclass. Class level. These all belongs to what? Class level. Class level methods all showing to you override. Next. If I write equal to, it is meant for printing. What you can print? Variables. What it will show? Implicit objects. Expression, your application config how to page request session. Okay. Now, if I write at the rate, it is what? Directive tag. Directive tag means include page and tag lib. First, I want to understand page directive. So, I am writing page. Then, what are the different attributes available? Just I want to add one attribute here. Just for understanding. Auto flush equal to true. Eclipse ఏది ఇస్తుంది రాసుకుందాం. Next, buffer. And response buffer 8 KB it is taking. Next, content type text/HTML by default taking. Okay. Next, deflator syntax equal to false. Okay, let it be there. I also don't know. Error page equal to, whenever exceptions are raised in this page, you want to forward those exceptions to which page? Now I want to change to 0.jsp. One more page, 0.jsp. Okay. Next, extends. By default, your class is extending from HTTP JSP page. Your PIC class by default deriving from HTTP JSP base. No, I want to extend from my own class. Okay, something ABC class. Or you can say my servlet or my servlet class I am writing. Okay, I want you extend from this my servlet class extends. The next, import. I want to import java.sql.star. Okay, I want to import this package java.sql.star. And the next, info. What info point provide? Double quotes. Hi, mama. Okay. Next, is EL ignore or true or false? Next, is error page? Tell me, is this page exception page? Exception handling page? No, we are diverting error page, na? Sir, let us take error page also, same page, 01. And then here I am writing what? True. True means what? This page only, error page. Then exception implicit object will be created. Then next, is thread safe? Is this thread safe? No. If I write false, is thread safe? No. That means how many servlet objects are created? One. This one servlet object is accessing by multiple. Bolo. Multiple thread safe and multiple threading, multi-threading. I told you na servlet execution flow multi-threading model. Single object, multi-thread. One object accessing by multiple threads. Is thread safe? True. True means what? I am taking care, you don't worry. If I write false, what happened? Let's see now. Next, language. Which language you want to use? Java. Next, page encoding. Next, session. True. If I write false, what happened? By default value true, I am writing what? False. False means session object is not created. Trim direct to white space. Okay, false. So how many are there totally? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 attributes are there. So I should remember all these attributes are not required. Among them, the important attributes are, for interview everything. Number 1, error page. For how to handle exceptions in JSP by using error page. Number 1, extends we don't write. Import, number 2. I'm taking them out. Important attributes. And next, is EL ignored? When you are using expression language, we have right. Is EL ignored? Is error page true? Ante. In all a good way to call. Session by default true, but entry point of view, okay, false. Okay, let me bring all these attributes at beginning. Error page is error page combination. Okay, at least you have to remember these 5 attributes. Generally, is error page and is error page are not both the same. Okay, they are different will be there. Okay, if both are same, that's okay, no problem. Let me say, okay, here extends my servlet. If I write my servlet class must be available. Is it available in my program? No. First you create them. Java resource, right click, new servlet. Class name is no, class name directly my servlet, no package. Finish. Let's see what happens. It will work or not. Right click, run as Java server, select, next, page directive, finish. Now what is coming? Jasper exception has invalid attribute is thread safe. Is thread safe not accepting maybe. Actually, is thread safe means it should be extending from single thread model. In single thread model, one interface is there. That interface is deprecated in the latest version. So that's why maybe it is not accepting is thread safe attribute. Okay, let me comment it. Is thread safe. Okay, delete. Let it be true. Will it accept or not? Still same error. Okay, invalid attribute. This one I have to remove. It's not accept. Bring it out. Next, illegal to have multiple occurrences of content type. Already in JSP page, we have mentioned content type here, na? Okay, 1 minute. I am removing this page direct. 1 second, sir. Maybe it is creating problem from there. Let me check. As invalid attribute is thread safe. So is thread safe not accepting, delete. Refresh. Now what is the error? Jasper exception unable to compile the class for JSP. Why? My servlet cannot be resolved to a type. Class name. Look at there. Go to. Okay, it's not finding that class name. I think somewhere we have to set the class path seems to be. Okay. Just for knowledge sake, okay? Don't worry about making it. Look at that. Extends from. Look at there. Import statement added. Page directive tag import statement added. Why? Because of page directive. Where is the JSP? Now, now look at that. Because of import in a PAC class, import added. Because of session false, go down and check is session object created or not created. Config out page session object is not created. Next error page 01 JSP is error page equal to true. Then here exception must be created. Let's see. Find throwable. Created a throwable exception equal to. Now which exception is adding? JSP runtime library dot get throwable of request. Next is illegal or not required. Next because of extends my servlet class is created. Okay, I'm also bringing it down. Then now refresh. Finally, it's executed. So tell me, page directive tag is used for instructing the JSP container about instructing the JSP container how to generate PIC class. You want some add import statements, or you want to disable session, or you want to divert the exception to the other page. You can use page directive tag. Clear my point? Right. I will. Okay. All these attributes are not required. These attributes are not required. These are only these 5 attributes are important. Of course, session is also we will not take. Why? Session by default always you want what? True. Interview point of view. How can we disable session in the JSP page? By default session in the JSP page is true. How to disable session in the JSP page? By using page attribute, page directive tag attribute, session equal to false. Is exception object by default available in every JSP page? No. How can we ask JSP container create implicit exception object? By using is error page equal to true? Is error page equal to true? By using this tag, is error page equal to true? Okay, na? So these are the interview questions point of view. There is no serious programming behind them. Okay, now when you are developing big project, whenever you want to add any import statement, then we have to use page directive tag. Most of the time we will use page directive tag import and page directive tag is error page and error page. That's it. Except this, we don't write other things. And tell me, generally in our JSP page, will you write these 2 attributes in the same JSP? No. Business logic page or response generating page, we will write error page equal to. Exception handling page, we will write what? Is error page equal to. Okay, so this is the complete story about page directive tag, the required notes, and this page I will upload tonight. You can practice at home if you want. Practice. Will you? And last class I told you one image I will upload matching with the JSP tags to the Servlet PIC class. Now I will upload that image because in that image I have used page directive import statement. This import statement is bringing to the import line to the page implementation class. You should know. That's why I have not uploaded. Today I will upload. Please try to practice at least that one image. Enter JSP will understand. Okay, na? Thank you. That's all for today class. Hope you are enjoying JSP slowly. Practice. You'll enjoy more in tomorrow class. Tomorrow we will complete include and we will complete action tags. Action tags. 3 action tags are important. Okay. Thank you. తర్వాత చూద్దాం. ఈ రోజు వరకు చాలు ఇంకా రేపటి నుంచి అవసరం లేదు. JSP